Welcome to the next edition of the Foundation Speaker Series. I'm Amber Goss, and today I'm excited to be able to introduce you to one of the newest members of the Foundation family, Ms. Debi Friedmann. A graduate of Elizabethtown College, Debi's degree in communications, along with her minor in business administration and psychology, built the groundwork for her entrepreneurial endeavors. After working in both the advertising and publishing worlds, Debi formed her own business in 1996. 4 years later, her company expanded, and with the expansion came a name change, and Blue Dog Printing and Design was born. A graphic designer by trade, Debi has been working in the field for 27 years. When she isn't focusing on her company, you can find her giving back to her community through various organizations. This year, Debi was named Businesswoman of the Year by the Women's Business Connection. It is my pleasure to introduce you to the fabulous Ms. Debi Friedmann. Welcome, Debi.
Thanks, Amber.
Let's start at the beginning, Debi, if you don't mind. You've been in the field now for 27 years, and that's very impressive. Did you always know that printing and design is what you wanted to do?
Heck no. I went to college to be an anchor woman, actually, and about a semester into it, I realized that what I thought an anchor person did was not what they do. I thought I was going to find the story, edit the story, and then produce the whole piece, and it turns out that they're just talking heads. So I switched gears and decided to focus more on the advertising world rather than broadcasting. And then that led me to some internships, which I kind of just naturally fell into the graphic design role within advertising.
So there you are, young woman in college, you fell into that graphic design field. Were there certain things you studied or certain activities that you participated in that helped you continue further down that graphic design road?
Well, actually, not in college. I got a communications degree, but my internships were really where I learned. The computers at my school were not graphic design computers. They were PCs with dot matrix printers, which probably no one watching this knows what that is. But my very first internship, the person, when I knocked on the door, she opened it up and handed me a Blockbuster video and a dry cleaning slip and said, I need you to go pick up my dry cleaning and return this video. And I thought to myself, is she testing me? Am I supposed to say, I'm sorry, I'm here to learn? Or am I supposed to just do what she's telling me to do? So I just did what she told me to do, and I was not happy about that. I got in the car. There was no GPS. There was no Google. There were no cell phones. This is 1992. And 1992. So then I realized I had to figure out where these places were. And so when I tell people when you have an internship, you may not do exactly what you think you're going to be doing, but I learned something from every experience. And what I learned from that was how to find my way around and get it done. She also plopped the Illustrator version #1 book on my desk and said, here, learn this and teach it to me. So I was able to learn by teaching myself. So that internship led to an internship the following year, and I actually wound up getting hired by that company for a full-time position post-graduation.
Now, ultimately, that helped you. Any skills you learn, we've learned through various videos. Any internship skills, while not necessarily in your field, always are beneficial. So we know that ultimately you ended up going into business for yourself and owning your own business. What really made you want to dive into that entrepreneurial world there?
Well, I had 3 different jobs before I decided to start my own company. And I think it's very important for people to have jobs in varying different environments. So my first job was in an ad agency in the city. It was kind of glamorous, if you will, but I was the low person on the totem pole. But I learned how to be a mentor from the woman who mentored me. And I learned styles of management that I did not like. from my group supervisor, and the owner of the company was a woman in a time where women really did not own companies or agencies for that matter. And she was an inspiration to me because she was a tough cookie, but she knew her stuff, and she didn't rely on playing the female card. She just was a professional. So that gave me a good scope, because I don't think I could be a manager today or a business owner without experiencing other situations. Then I went to a very, very small publishing company. I learned what it was like to be part of a team that really got everything from the beginning to the end. We put out quarterly publications. So working on a project like that with other people taught me the value of teams. Then I went to a very, 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 very big corporation where we had to clock in, and if you were 30 seconds late, the receptionist locked the door on you and wrote you up. They rang a bell to eat lunch, and you had 43 minutes to eat your lunch, and then you had to be back at your desk. That was not the environment for me. I didn't last long there. I was there for about 2 months and decided quite emotionally 2 weeks before my wedding to quit that job and start my own business. So my poor fiance at the time comes home and sees me sitting at the kitchen table, and he's like, "Why are you home so early?" And I said, "I quit my job today." And he said, "Why did you quit your job?" I said, "I didn't like it. I'm just going to start my own business." I'm 23 years old. I've just moved to this area from another state. I didn't know anybody. He's like, "How are you going to start your own business?" I said, "I just am." We came back from the honeymoon, and I called the Yellow Pages. Again, people don't know what that is, but I went through and just started getting work and became so busy that eventually I had to stop taking on-site jobs because I was so busy with work at home. So it was not, I had no business plan. I know the business people don't like to hear that, but I had no plan at all. I just dove in, and that's how I operate. I jump first and look later, but I always land on my feet.
And that's obviously, boded very well for you over the years. And we have to tell you, we absolutely love the name of the company, Blue Dog Printing and Design. So we have to ask, can you tell us how you came up with the name?
Sure. So I had my design business, and my husband said, "Well, what if we got a printing company and you could print what you design?" And I thought he was insane. But we looked into doing that and decided we were just going to start our own instead of purchasing an existing company. But he is very different from me in his own good way. He's very conservative, and I don't want to say boring, but the names he wanted were Chester County Digital Printing and We Print. And I was like, there's so many things wrong with those names, and I wanted something really cool and edgy and funky, and he didn't like any of my names. I didn't like any of his names. 2 months went by of us exchanging a list this long of possibilities, and nothing was jiving with either one of us. So we went out to dinner for our 7th wedding anniversary, and here we are at 24 years now. I said, we're not leaving this table until we have a name for the company. So we started talking about how much we love our dogs, and our one dog we adopted from the SPCA in 1999. She was dyed blue at the hands of her previous owners. They abused her, but she stood out from all the Rottweilers and pit bulls and dogs that people don't tend to. There's a lot of those in the shelters. So I was like, let's get this little blue dog. And so I said, well, how about Digidog, like a digital dog? And my husband said, oh, I kind of like that. And I thought, oh my God, he finally kind of liked something. This is good. And he said, how about Blue Dog? And that was just it. I hate giving him the credit for it, but I will give credit where credit is due. And he is the one that came up with the name. And I immediately could see the logo and the marketing for this. So that is how we got the name. And our poor little blue pup, she passed away in 2008, but she was my very first dog ever, and there will never be one like her.
And the name continues on, and the story we'll keep coming up because I'm sure you get that question quite a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great way to remember her. And so as a business owner, Debi, what advice would you give to the students who are watching that are thinking about taking a talent or a love of something that they have and turning it into their own business?
Well, that's a big question. Just because you have a passion for something and you're really good at it doesn't mean you can be a business owner. I sort of just jumped in. I had very little accounting knowledge, and it took me a long time to figure out how that really worked for an accountant to do my taxes. I wish that I had access to some of the resources that I have now. I just didn't know about them at the time and thought, I got this. And I didn't start it thinking it was going to become what it is. I started it thinking it was going to be me in front of a computer at a desk, and that was going to be it. It just kind of evolved. But I'm going to say that the most unexpected answer I give to people is math. I am a graphic designer, I am an artist, but I use math every single day. I need to know fractions. I need to know how to use a ruler. I need to divide. I need to multiply. So math is a universal skill to have that I don't care what job you have, you're going to use math in some way. So embrace it. Don't think I'll never use this again. The second thing about being a business owner is the ability to communicate effectively. So when you send an email to someone, and I've gotten them from younger people that have the letter U and the letter R, and I'm like, what's UR stand for? I mean, I know that's that generation, but there's something to be said for effective, clear communication without using shortcuts. Spell checking. If I spell one word wrong, it could be the end of a relationship with a customer. For example, the word public. There are some ways you can mess up that word with leaving one letter out. The L. So public relations can be meaning something else altogether. So you have to just be careful with what you say, and you need to be able to have eye contact. And in this world, hopefully one day we will get back to shaking hands. But being what's the word I'm looking for? Being inquisitive, be curious, ask questions. People like to talk about themselves more so than listen to you talk about yourself. So it's asking the right questions of, how did you get started in what you do? What made you decide to go into this field? What do you love about your company that you work for or own, or whatever the case may be? I am just a natural people person, so I ask about people's pets and their kids and their parents, and I just like to get to really know people. And I'm not gonna say the most important thing, but one very important thing that has benefited me greatly is the involvement in my community. And I grew up in a country town. We didn't have a community. We didn't have volunteering. There were no town fairs or events. I grew up with cows and horses. And so when I moved to Westchester, Pennsylvania, and found this town and this community and all these ways that I can give my time, we like to call it time, talent, and treasure. So any or all of those three things are welcome in your community by volunteering. And you get to know other people on a personal level more so than just business, and business is relationships. So that's my very long answer to your question.
And certainly, giving back is part of who you are. We know that because you volunteer with us, and we know you're involved with other organizations in your community. And let's take a minute to touch specifically on your, volunteering and giving back. For students who are looking to become involved in their communities, any words of wisdom there about what they should do or what they should be looking for, or how they can, dive headfirst into the philanthropic side of things?
Yes, there is a Rotary Club in every town across the world. It's called Rotary International. And a lot of them do have clubs for younger people, but just because you're a younger person doesn't mean you can't join the grown-up Rotary Club. The Rotary's motto is service above self. So there are all these opportunities for not only fellowship among your community, but performing service work within the community. So for example, we will go to a park and do all the weeding and mulching for the springtime. And that helps the community not pay for people to do that. We also will go into watershed areas and clean up along the waterways. Literally 3 weeks ago, I was walking up and down the highway picking up trash. People probably thought we were on prison release, but we weren't. But we'd like to make up stories of what we were in for as we were walking up and down picking up trash. But it doesn't seem like much, but you get to know the other people around you. Your schools probably have some sort of giving type of situation, and you can always start your own. You can start your own service projects. You can start your own group. Get a couple of friends together, decide what you're passionate about, and go from there.
And that's all great advice, and hopefully some of our viewers will take it to heart and be able to give back to their community. And again, Debi, we can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy schedule today to join us, and we appreciate you and appreciate you being part of the foundation family. And again, thank you for taking this little bit of time to give back and to chat with our students about your career.
Sure. And truly, if anyone wants contact information, I am always available, and I love to help people. So I'm more than happy to answer any questions anyone has. I'd love to give advice, ask my husband and my daughter. In any way I can help, I am happy to. I am very sad that I will not be driving to Lycoming College next weekend, but I'm looking forward to next year.
And we're looking forward to it as well.
Yeah.
And just for any of the viewers who are interested in connecting with Debi, if you have questions about careers in graphic design, printing, owning your own business, as she mentioned, she'd be happy to have you reach out to her. We will be displaying Debi's contact information at the end of the video, or you can reach out to our offices to be connected with her. So again, thank you, Debi, and thank you to our viewers for watching. Until next time.
You're welcome. Thanks, Amber.